welcome back to Learning Curves. I'm Anastasia, and today we're going to continue our three-part series in how to make superhero capes. Last week, we did a deep dive into all of the supplies that you'll need, what they are, how much to get. I provided Amazon affiliate links, which I also have linked in the description here if you want to just grab them, just add to cart and be done with it, go for it. But there's more customizable information in the other video. This week, we're going to dive into how to make your pattern pieces, cut them out, and then next week, we're going to put it all together. To make sure you don't miss next week's video, please subscribe. Let's dive in. Let's start with the main shape of the cape. For this, we're just going to draw our pattern markings directly onto the cape material. I'm using Waxy Tailor's chalk, but my must-have sewing supplies video has a bunch of fabric marking utensil suggestions. We're essentially making a large quarter circle with a quarter circle cut out of the top to curve around the neck. So to do this, we'll make a right angle at the top of our fabric. And if you, like me, are using a non-fraying fabric like this that also does not have selvage, so to speak, then you can just use the natural straight edge of the material and draw a line perpendicular to that. And where that line starts on your edge is going to be your right angle, your corner of your right angle. We're going to keep coming back to this corner. So from the corner of that right angle, you will measure 5 inches down and then 20 inches further down from that. So you're measuring 25 inches total in each direction, down and across. This will give you a cape with a finished length of 20 inches. Although if you're using a fabric that frays, you'll need to add seam allowance all around. It's okay if the 5, 20, 25, if the measurements don't make sense to you, just do what I'm doing and we'll get there. And if you're super worried about it, just make sure that before you cut it out, your markings look like this shape. But we've got 2 more steps before we get there. Those steps are drawing our top and bottom curves. For the top curve, I recommend use something round you have that's about 10 inches in diameter. I used a large mixing bowl here. I lined the edges up with the top 2 marks, the ones that are 5 inches down from that right angle we made, and I traced the rim of the bowl there, connecting those 2 5-inch marks with a curve. Then for the bottom curve, you can do this a few ways. This time I relied on my transparent ruler to make my marks. So our finished cape length will be 20 inches, right? So I made a bunch of marks that were 20 inches down from the neckline all the way around the cape. I used the lines on the ruler to make sure my markings were aligned with the apex of the full 25 inches, that right angle, and I made sure that the marks that I'm making are 20 inches down from that neckline. So I'm lining up with both the top corner and the neckline to make sure I'm going in a straight line and marking 25 inches down from your right angle. My ruler was only 24 inches, so I had to measure 20 inches down from the neckline. Then I used the bunch of marks I made as a guide for drawing my bottom curve. Just connected them around with a big arch. There are a couple other options for making this bottom curve. I mean, one option is just to eyeball it, just go for it. Or you don't have to make as many of these little markings that I made. You can just make one in the middle, you know, and eyeball those. Or you could tie a piece of string or yarn to a fabric marking tool, like a marker or something, and hold that tool 25 inches away from the right angle that we made, you know, the one that's 5 inches above the neckline, and then draw a curve that way. Just as you move your pencil around, it will naturally curve and remain 25 inches from that apex. But, you know, no matter which method you use, if you don't like the shape that you drew, you can just make different marks before you cut it out. But I do recommend using a different color marking utensil if you go that way. And that's it. That's essentially your cape pattern. You'll cut this out and use it as the pattern to cut as many others as you're planning to make. I made 20. You probably won't need 20. And honestly, I didn't need 20. Something I did to save time when transferring this pattern was I did not draw the long straight lines from the pattern piece. I just marked the top and the bottom of them, and then I'd use my long quilting ruler and my rotary cutter on my cutting mat to cut these straight lines super quickly. Those are the only areas where your transfer marks are most likely to be visible on your finished cape, because again, the neck's going to be covered by the bias and the bottom you're cutting the scallop. So the sides are really the only spots where you'd be seeing the pattern that you draw. So I didn't draw those. I just used my straight edge to cut them. Another great thing about felt is that there isn't really a right or wrong way like there is in a woven or a knit, and there's no pattern on this fabric. There's no like design. So I didn't have to worry about not cutting on the bias or cutting on the bias. I could move the pattern however I wanted and just squeeze as many capes on there as I could. Don't throw your scraps away. You're going to want to use some of them to cut your actual bat symbol out, but you can also use some of them to make no-sew masks that I'll show you in another video. So next, you'll make the scallop cuts. I decided that 6 scallops was the ideal amount for this cape. What you'll do is you'll fold the cape in half, and then you'll fold each half in thirds, and then cut a scallop. You're basically just inverting the shape of the curve that you have there, and you can make these scallops as high arched or low arched as you want. I would start with a low arch, see how you feel about it, and move up. I ended up cutting up about 2 inches at the highest part. Obviously you can always cut more, but you can't add any back. I was eventually, because I have super sharp fabric scissors, I was able to cut all 6 layers at once, but I had to build up my confidence to feel good about that. For a while I would just cut one and then use it as a guide to cut the next one. I mean, I just have to measure what a sixth of it was, you know, so I was making sure I had even scallop cuts. And then I would like cut half of it and then use that half as a pattern for the other half so that matched. It really did not matter. I overthought this so much. Just as long as your scallops kind of end in a point. I mean, Batman in certain iterations is really scraggly, you know, like he's got torn up capes at some parts. So like, what does it even matter? You know, this is fine. Next, we'll tackle the applique. For these capes, I wanted a black bat on top of a yellow oval. You can make these shapes or any shapes you'd like to use for your cape the same way. I decided to make my oval 7 inches wide by 5 inches tall. I think the best way to create this shape is to open a Word or Google Docs or whatever you have, insert a circle oval shape, and adjust the dimensions to 7 by 5. If you have a printer, you can print this shape or whatever shape out, cut it out, and there's your pattern piece. However, if you don't have a printer, or you might as well not have one because it's been out of ink for literally years sitting on your basement bar just getting in the way of everything, or you know, whatever your situation is, you can place a piece of paper on your screen and very gently just trace over it. I even used old not too sticky masking tape to hold the paper in place. The challenge with this method is that your shape may not be to size on your screen even if it is to size on your document. So make sure you measure it first with an actual physical ruler against your screen and scale it proportionately. I did this by sort of eyeballing how far off it was and then putting down my ruler, holding the shift key with one hand and dragging with my mouse the corner of the shape until it adjusted to about where I thought it was right, and then measuring again. If you're using the oval shape and this sounds super overwhelming, I have a Google Doc link with an oval shape all ready for you in the description box. I'm not providing you a bat shape because I'm not certain that that is illegal. In fact, I'm pretty certain that it's not. Then you will use the same method for whatever shape you want to use, meaning that you will either find a shape you want to use, scale it to the size you want, and print it out, or that you will find a shape you want to use, scale it to the size you want, and then trace it. Next, you'll cut the ovals. This oval was the most fiddly part of this whole process, and in the end, the only thing that I didn't really like. I know I mentioned this already. Get yellow felt if you can, but for us poor saps who couldn't find a good yellow felt, you'll fold the fabric in half, right sides together. Then you'll trace your pattern, as many as you need, on half the fabric, 2-ply, right? Making sure it's doubled over and that you leave room for seam allowance. And then you'll pin your 2 layers together and you'll cut each doubled shape out with seam allowance, keeping that seam allowance on there. But if you have yellow felt or non-fraying fabric, all you have to do is trace the pattern to the wrong side, if that's a thing, of your fabric, and cut it out with no seam allowance, and then you're done. Then the bats. Aside from getting your bat pattern, this one's pretty simple. You just draw yourself a bat shape. So I laid this pattern piece over the wrong side of the felt again and traced around it with chalk. This was a little fiddly as the chalk doesn't leave a super detailed mark, but I just trusted the process and it ended up okay. But here I did prefer using Taylor's chalk because it's waxier and a little more detailed. But if you just keep your pattern firmly on there, you're going to see the negative space and you'll be fine. You'll get there. It's fine. You can look up the bat symbol through the years. It'll show you the different iterations of it and choose one that you want. I purposefully wanted one that was bolder and didn't have like any tiny, fine, pointy parts. I mean, it's the bat symbol. It's going to have some pointy parts. Mine ended up being 3 inches tall and 4.5 inches at its widest. Now let's move on to our notions. For the Velcro, with the hook and loop sides both together, you'll cut 1.5 inches down from the end. Then you will cut that in half long ways, and that's it. That's enough Velcro for 2 capes. I made 20 capes, so I cut 10 1.5-inch sections and cut all of those in half long ways. And I still had some left over. And lastly, the bias. The length of bias will be determined by the desired finished neck circumference. You're going to need to add 2 inches to whatever your desired finished neck circumference measurement is. So I knew I was making these for a bunch of 5-year-olds and I wanted the finished neck circumference to be 13.5 inches. Add 2 inches to that, that's 15.5 inches. The 2 inches we're adding are 1.5 inches for where the Velcro will overlap, and then 1/2 inch for seam allowance so that you'll be able to tuck in 1/4 inch on either side. That part's in video 3. So because 3 yards was just under enough to make 7, I was a little extra, and I measured exactly 15.5 inches for 1, cut that off, so my remaining length should be enough for 6, right? So I cut that in half, and then each half should be enough to make 3, so I cut that in thirds and ended up with some pretty even neck lengths. That's it, you guys, we're so close! I have edited out of so many videos that so much of so many projects is not the thing that you call it. Like, so much of painting is not actually painting. It's sanding and prep and taping things off. And so much of sewing is not sewing. But next week, we're gonna do the sewing. It's gonna be so good. That's it for this one. If you like this video, please like this video, and I'll see you next week when we wrap it all up. Have a good week till then. Bye!